Okay, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to part 4 of Mr. Doctor Who Fan 13's Doctor Who DVD collection. Now, the reason this may look a little different is because I'm filming this on the next day, because I stopped filming last night because my camera was on a low battery, so of course I had to charge it and I didn't have time to film the rest of this, so yeah, but anyway, now we're back and we are going to... So last time we covered the Peter Davison and we covered the Peter Davison and Colin Baker era, and in this part we are going to be covering the Sylvester McCoy era. Now I only have 3 Sylvester McCoy stories. Yeah, that's really big. Not. But yeah, so we're gonna start out with the my favourites from the Sylvester McCoy era. It is, of course, Remembrance of the Daleks, starring Sylvester McCoy. Now, this story is actually really good. It's one of my favourite Dalek stories. It's my favourite Sylvester McCoy story. I can't speak today. Well, first I said the Sylvester McCoy era we covered in the last part when it was actually the Colin Baker era. And I said this is a Colin Baker DVD when it's actually a Sylvester McCoy one. I cannot speak today. But, yeah, it's a really good story. Definitely worth watching. It's a 2-discer, as this is a special edition, as you can see here. And disc 1 is upside down. So, yeah. And it's also got a special feature on this called Davros Connections, which I haven't checked out, but I've heard it's really good. When I have the time, I'll probably check that out, so... Yep, that is Remembrance of the Daleks. A brilliant story, if I say so myself. Next up here, we have the second and final story from the Cybermen box set, Silver Nemesis, starring Sylvester McCoy. Now, this story, well, one first thing to say is I actually feel as though this is a huge rip-off of its predecessor. Actually, no, not its predecessor. Not the Happiness Patrol. I feel as though this is just like a rip-off of Remembrance of the Daleks. I mean, the Cybermen look brilliant, but they look like pansies in this one because they're very weak. They can be killed easily. It's like what Russell T Davies did with Doomsday. I mean, they were really sinister at the end of Army of Ghosts, but then they just got owned by the Daleks in Doomsday, but we'll get to that later. It's 1 disc, as you can see there. So, yeah, that's watchable, but not the worst, but out of what I own, it's my least favourite Sylvester McCoy story. Next up, we have the absolutely brilliant, season opener to the final season of the classic series, which is season 26. The season 26 opener, Battlefield, starring Sylvester McCoy. Now, this story is actually really good. It's the Brigadier's final story in the classic series. He would later appear in the Sarah Jane Adventure story. I forgot what it's called now. Yeah. But, yeah, he would later appear in the Sarah Jane Adventures, the season finale of Series 2 of that. So, yeah, as you can see in here, it's a 2-discer. And like the 5 Doctors in Enlightenment, it's got the original TV version on disc 1 and the special edition on disc 2. So, yeah, with extension scenes, better special effects and all that. I watched that, and I watched the one from the 5 Doctors, and they're both really good, so... Yeah, and believe it or not, guys, that is the final Sylvester McCoy story I have. Yes, I know. I don't have that many. I only have 3. Next up, we have the only Paul McGann story, which makes it the complete Paul McGann era. On television, that is. Even though he has loads of audio ventures. We have the only Paul McGann story. The very stupid and disappointing Doctor Who the movie, starring Paul McGann. What can I say about this? Well, Paul McGann is a great Doctor, I must say. I mean, well, actually, all the Doctors are good. He's my least favourite Doctor, but he does have potential, and if I've heard that in his like audio ventures, he's more like he has a darker side to him, so I'm probably gonna listen to some of his audio ventures, maybe. But anyway, yeah, this is the last adventure from the Revisitations 1 box set. So, of course, since it's special edition, it's a 2-discer. Very nice. And for some reason, the case is snapped there. I don't know why. That was my fault. I was being careless one day, so... yeah. It's not very good, if I say so myself. It's absolutely terrible. I mean, yeah, there were stories, but it's just not that good. I mean, I thought it was decent at first, but now I watched it more, I think it's stupid now. So, yeah. Not good, the movie. Not good. But, yeah. So that is the complete Paul McGann era, with only one story. Next up, we have I forgot to mention, we just started going to the new Series X. I consider the movie to be a modern Doctor Who story. So, we are going deeper now into the modern Doctor Who series with the complete Christopher Eccleston era. That's right, his only season as the Doctor. And we have Series 1, Volume 1, which has Rose, The End of the World, and The Unquiet Dead, starring Christopher Eccleston and Billie Piper. Now, my opinions on these episodes. Rose, great return to Doctor Who. The End of the World, it's not that good, really. The Unquiet Dead, that was actually pretty good. That was decent. And it's a 1-disc, and for some reason, like The Invasion and Disc 2, and The Keeper of Chalk, and somehow this got snapped. Now, this wasn't my fault. I don't remember doing this. I remember I did this to The Keeper of Chalk, but I don't remember doing it to this. I mean, the thing was alright, but... and also The Invasion came like that, so... yeah. 2 out of 3 stories in that are actually pretty good. So that begins, of course, the Christopher Eccleston era. One of my favourite Doctors. He was a great one. Next up we have Series 1, Volume 2, which has Aliens of London and World War III, absolute rubbish, and Dalek, which is absolutely brilliant. I mean, this is probably one of my favourite Christopher Eccleston stories. It's just well written, and it's just a great way to make a return for the Daleks. And it's only 1 disc, again, a 1-discer. Of course, vanilla releases are usually only 1 disc. In fact, I think all the vanilla releases are 1 disc. So, yeah, that is, that's Series 1, Volume 2. Dalek. Even if... I don't like Aliens of London World War III, but I'd recommend getting that just for Dalek. Next up, we have probably the best set of episodes from the Christopher Eccleston era. By the way, that was Volume 2 was starring Christopher Eccleston and Billie Piper. I forgot to mention that, but... yeah, anyway. Next up, we have Series 1, Volume 3, which has The Long Game, Father's Day, and The Empty Child and the Doctor Dancers, starring Christopher Eccleston and Billie Piper. The Long Game. It's rubbish. I mean, I do love Simon Pegg's performance in it, because I love Simon Pegg. He's an absolutely brilliant comedian and actor. But it's just not that good. Father's Day is absolutely brilliant. This is the only story where I actually like Rose. I mean, she was sort of alright in The Unquiet Dead, but... I gave her a chance, but... Father's Day, this is her finest hour. Billie Piper, she's a great actress, and she plays the character of Rose well, but her character is dislikable, but she's not in Father's Day. And The Empty Child and the Doctor Dancers, Stephen Moffat's first proper Doctor Who story, unless you count The Curse of the Fatal Death. But, yeah, that is my favourite from the Christopher Eccleston era. That is absolutely brilliant. It's creepy as hell as well, so... yeah. Alright. next up, we have the final DVD from the Christopher Eccleston era, which is Series 1, Volume 4, which has Boomtown and the Battle from the Parting of the Way, starring Christopher Eccleston and Billy Piper. Boomtown is rubbish, like Aliens of London World War III, and Battle from the Parting of the Ways, though, that is a great finale to Series 1. That is just a very, very great finale. It's just really, really good. No, you have to see it to see how good it is. It's absolutely brilliant. Alright, so that concludes the Christopher Eccleston era, and yeah, we have time. We're going to be moving on to the David Tennant era now. The very, very long David Tennant era. The era of the 10th Doctor. And we're going to start out with the complete second series. Now, I have like this Series 2 box set. If you can tell, it's sort of like, I lost the sleeve cover to it, but it's still have all the episodes, so that's fine. It's sort of like a 3D box, and on the other side it's got a Dalek and the Cyberman. I will be reviewing these complete series box sets one day, but not today. And it's sort of like an X-ray vision there as well, so anyway, I've got 2 cases here. So we're gonna start out with the first case. Now, it's 6-discer this series, so I'm gonna going through the stories on this set of discs first. So anyway, disc 1, The Christmas Invasion in New Earth, starring David Tennant and Billy Piper, of course. The Christmas Invasion was a really good first Christmas special. It's probably the second best Christmas special. I don't know. I mean, the next Doctor is the best, and the Snowman is good as well. So yeah, Christmas Carol's underrated as well, I think, actually. Disc 2, which has Tooth and Claw, School Union, The Girl in the Fireplace, starring David Tennant and Billy Piper. Now, Tooth and Claw, that's nostalgic. That is the first full episode of Doctor Who I watched. I only watched the second half of New Earth, that was the first one I watched, but the first proper episode of Doctor Who I watched was Tooth and Claw, so my story of Doctor Who starts with that one. School Union, that's a really good one as well. Great way to bring back Sarah Jane Smith and K9 for one Saturday night only. And The Girl in the Fireplace, which is another great story by Stephen Moffat. Overrated, to say the least, but still good. And Disc 3, which has Rise of the Cybermen and the Age of Steel, and The Idiot's Lantern, starring David Tennant and Billy Piper. Rise of the Cybermen and the Age of Steel, in my opinion, is the best out of Series 2. It's just a really great return to the Cybermen. Tom McCree is a great writer. It's just really good. The Idiot's Lantern, however, is absolutely rubbish. The less said about it, the better. So yeah, that's the first half of Series 2. Well, more than half of it. So yeah, now we are moving on to the second set of episodes. Disc 4, which has The Impossible Planet in the Satan Pit and Love and Monsters, starring David Tennant and Billy Piper. The Impossible Planet in the Satan Pit, it's alright. I mean, it's not the best, not the worst. It's a good story overall. It's just a nice little story. The Love and Monsters, though, that is the worst Doctor Who story ever. The less said about it, the better. That is the worst. And that is saying something. So, yeah. Next up, we have Disc 5, finally, which is Fear Her, Army of Ghosts and Army of Ghosts and Doomsday. Fear Her is rubbish, but Army of Ghosts and Doomsday is a really great finale. But one thing that would have made it better is just, like, the Doctor-Rose relationship. I hate Rose as character. Billy Piper is great as an actress, but her character, like I said before, is absolutely rubbish. And also the Cybermen looked like pansies. I mean, the Daleks own the crap out of them, which I can sort of understand why, but I don't. And next up we have Disc 6, which has just Doctor Who Confidential cut downs. I mean, it's nice little extra to have a look about, like, behind the scenes and all, so yeah. It's alright. Yeah. So, yeah. So, that's the start. That's probably the worst out of all the series in the modern era of Doctor Who. So, yeah. And next up, we have the complete third series, starring. No, I won't say that. So, yeah. So this has like 2 designs to it, as you can see. Really nice box set. So of course we're going to be taking a look at 2 things from it. So start out with the first set of stories. And yeah. So this one we have The Runaway Bride, starring David Tennant and Catherine Tate. This is actually it's an okay Christmas special. I find it underrated. It's really funny. So yeah. And we also have Music and Monsters in there, which is a nice little, like, it's the Christmas special confidential, so yeah. This too, we have Smith and Jones, The Shakespeare Code, and Gridlock, starring David Tennant and Freema Agyeman. Smith and Jones, actually a pretty good season opener to Series 3. The Shakespeare Code, that was a great, that's probably the best out of the first half of Series 3. Gridlock, that's not good. Sequel to one of the worst Doctor Who stories ever, New Earth. Disc 3, we have Daleks in Manhattan and Evolution of the Daleks, and The Lazarus Experiment in 42, starring David Tennant and Freema Agyeman. Daleks in Manhattan and Evolution of the Daleks is absolutely rubbish. I mean, the end of Evolution of the Daleks is good, but it's just a mess. Just a mess. The Lazarus Experiment, that's pretty good. I like how the Doctor just trolls Lazarus. I'm recording! I'm recording, Mom! Alright. Sorry, that was my... Yes! My God! Thanks a lot, Mom, for... Because I'm too lazy.
What's happening here?
Yes.
Is it on silent?
Yes.
Take it off silent.
Alright. That was kind of awkward. I apologise for that, people. I really apologise. I really do. I mean... Oh my God. I'm sorry. If my mum... She usually would have gone like, you know... She would have been like... Yeah, never mind, I'll leave you to it, but... No, because she's off out, she has to let me know, and she has to give me the money for my guitar lesson, which I appreciate. But I'm recording! Anyway, enough about that. So anyway, The Last Experiment. I might edit that out. Actually, no, I'll keep it in just for lols. I'll keep it in, you know, just so you can laugh and be like, whoa. So anyway, The Lazarus Experiment. Now that story is actually... That episode, I like how the Doctor trolls Lazarus. It's alright. 42 was really underrated. I mean, Chris Chibnall is a really underrated writer. He writes really underrated stories. So, yeah. And, hang on. Just need to sort something out. There we go. So I just had to sort something out there. So, yeah, so, first half of Series 3 is alright. But second half is better, I must say. Alright, so, second half of Series 3 here, we have Disc 4, which is Human Nature and the Family of Blood and Blink, starring David Tennant and Freema Agyeman. Now, this story is actually really good. It's one of David Tennant's finest, I think. I actually quite like that one. So, yeah. And, Blink, that is my favourite episode from the new series. It's just really good, really... It's brilliant, it's brilliant. Words can't describe how brilliant it is. And then, of course, we have Disc 5, which has Utopia and The Sound of Drums and the Last of the Time Lords, starring David Tennant, Freema Agyeman and John Barrowman. Now, Utopia is actually a really good penultimate story to end Series 3, and Sound of Drums and the Last of the Time Lords, that's a really good finale. That's pretty underrated, that one. Then we have Disc 6, which is Doctor Who Confidential Cut Downs. Again, nice little special feature. Okay, so that's Series 3. Let's just forget that my mum ever entered. Sorry, what was I talking about again? But, yes. So, next up here, we don't, it's not Doctor Who, but it's just, no, I lost the, case that this comes in. It's, Sarah Jane Adventures, the complete first series. Just thought I'd show you this, because it's on my Doctor Who shelf. So, it's a nice little, DVD that I got for Christmas a few years ago. Now I've forgotten the name of the stories of the episodes on this. I think I'm going to rewatch Series 1 and might get Series 2, 3 and 4 and 5. I'm definitely getting Series 5, I know that, but I might get Series 2, 3 and 4, I don't know. Anyway, here we got Disc 1, which just has the Invasion of the Bane, a really good story. Disc 2, which I believe has Revenge of the Sylvain and Eye of the Gorgon, which both are pretty good stories. I can't really remember, but this is what I'm assuming. Thanks again! That was my mum again. Sorry. Let's just forget that ever happened. Forget both those incidents ever happened. Anyway, yeah, I believe that has Eye of the Gorgon and, well, Revenge of the Sylvain and Eye of the Gorgon. I need to rewatch all this, because I can't really give an opinion in a minute. Disc 3, which has Warriors of Kudlak and What Happened to Sarah Jane, I believe. Yeah, those are pretty good. No, I don't know. Then Disc 4, we have The Lost Boy. And that's actually a really good finale to Season 1, I think. I actually really enjoyed that. Stand up camera. Right. Okay. So, that is nice little addition I thought I'd show you there. Next up here we have which is just a little cartoon. It has nothing to do with the main series. Doctor Who: The Infinite Quest, starring David Tennant and Freema Agyeman. By the way, Sarah Jane Adventures Series 1 was starring Elizabeth Sladen. Anyway, yeah. Next here we have Doctor Who: The Infinite Quest. Now, this was just like a cartoon that was shown on Totally Doctor Who in separate parts, but you've got the you've got everything here. You've got everything in one. So yeah, it comes with some nice little art cards of the animation. So yeah, it's also got an advertisement for Invasion of the Bane, and yeah, it's a one-discer. It's a nice little story, really nice little story. Nice little addition to Doctor Who. I mean, I haven't watched it in ages because I haven't been bothered, but yeah. So, now we are going to be moving on to our next Christmas special, because I don't have the complete 4th series. I got this in vanilla releases like I did with Series 1. Voyage of the Damned, starring David Tennant and Kylie Minogue. Now, this story is actually really... It's a bit overrated, I think, but it's alright. It also has a Children in Need special on here, Time Crash, which is... I actually really like that one, written by Stephen Moffat. And it also has the Christmas special Confidential on here, which is really good. So, yeah. It's also got advertisement for the Doctor Who DVDs, and it's also got this one disc in here. So, yeah, Voyage of the Damned, it's alright. Not the best, it's overrated, but yeah. Next up here we have Series 4 Volume 1, which has Partners in Crime, The Fires of Pompeii, and The Planet of the Youth, starring David Tennant and Catherine Tate. Partners in Crime, it's okay. I'm not really too into that one. The Fires of Pompeii, that was a really, really good story. And Planet of the Youth, okay. It's like Impossible Planet in the Sitting Pit. It's just okay. Next up here, though, we have Series 4, Volume 2, which has a Sondheim Stratagem and the Poison Sky, The Doctor's Daughter, and The Unicorn and the Wasp, starring David Tennant, Catherine Tate, and Freema Agyeman. The Sondheim Stratagem and the Poison Sky was actually a really, really good story. Really great return for Sondheim. I quite like that one, actually. The Doctor's Daughter, it's okay. I haven't watched it in a while. I'm tempted to watch it again though, so yeah. The Unicorn and the Wasp, that's a great story. That's actually really underrated. A lot of people criticise it, but I think it's underrated. So, yeah. Very, 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 very underrated story, that. Unicorn and the Wasp. And next up here we have Series 4, Volume 3, which has Silence in the Library and The Forest of the Dead, and Midnight, starring David Tennant and Catherine Tate. Oh, I forgot to show you the inside of Volume 2. Yeah, it's just a one discer. No advertisements or nothing. So, yeah. So yeah, that's volume. So yeah. Anyway, volume 3. We have now Silence in the Library and The Forest of the Dead is a great start or end to the River Song series, because this was River Song's last story in her timeline, but in the Doctor's it was the first. And Midnight, that was actually really scary. I really like that one. So yeah. So one disc, it's also got an advertisement for Series 4, Volume 4. So, yeah, which is coming next, by the way. So that's foreshadowing the next DVD we're going to be looking at. Which is, of course, like I already said, Series 4, Volume 4, which has Turn Left and The Stolen Earth and Journey's End, starring David Tennant, Catherine Tate, Freema Agyeman, John Powman, with Elizabeth Sladen and Billy Piper. Now, Turn Left, that's actually a really, really good story. And The Stolen Earth and Journey's End, I know you're going to hate me for this, but I think it's overrated. I mean, let's see. The Stolen Earth was good, but Journey's End was very disappointing. So, in that case, I say it's overrated. So, one disc long, and it's got an advertisement for the complete 4th series, but I already have the vanilla releases, so I'm not getting that. So, yeah. Next up, though, we have David Tennant's Final Adventures of the Doctor. We have Doctor Who, The Complete Specials, starring David Tennant. So, yeah, sorry. Right, so, yeah, now, this is another nice little box set. So, yeah, it's sort of like, they've gone back to the sleeve thing they did with Series 1 and 2, and this will continue. Now, this is sort of like the layout they did for Series 5 and Series 6, which we'll be getting into in the Matt Smith era. So, yeah. Here we have both sides, Doctor and the Master. We have DVDs here. Right, so this is big, so I'm going to have to do some shifting about for the camera to give my opinions on these stories. So, yeah. So, over here we have Disc 1, The Next Doctor, starring David Tennant and David Morrissey. Now, this story is actually really good. It's my favourite Christmas special. Great return to the Cybermen after, like, a break of 2 seasons. Really good. And then we have Disc 2, which is, and also, sorry, right, let me rephrase that. Also, we have Disc 2, which is Planet of the Dead, starring David Tennant and Michelle Ryan. Crap, don't like it. 2, I mean, Christina was bitchy. I mean, and the Tritoballs, they're just, I don't know. Then we have Disc 3, which is The Waters of Mars, starring David Tennant and Lindsay Duncan. That's a really good story. I actually really like that one. So, yeah. Yeah, and then we have disc 4 and 5, which has disc 4, The End of Time Part 1, and disc 5, The End of Time Part 2. Don't know why they couldn't put them in the same disc, but I don't know. But yeah, anyway, so this is a really good story, The End of Time. It's one thing though, it's good, but it's overrated, and also David Tennant's regeneration at the end of Part 2, I think that was a bit over the top. But I do think that Matt Smith saved it, and also the Exploding TARDIS was epic. It's just that, you know, I always saw David Tennant as a bit of a crybaby, to be honest with the Doctor, so yeah, I think David Tennant's Doctor is overrated, but it's a good end, could have been better, so if he wasn't so whingy in his regeneration, so yeah. So that goes back in there. Come on. So yeah, that's the complete specials. Nice set of stories. I mean, the only one I really didn't like in there were Planet of the Dead, and also The End of Time was overrated. So yeah. So this has actually been a really long video due to the very long David Tennant era, and also the really short Sylvester McCoy, Paul McGann, and Chris Eccleston eras. So next up we will be covering the final so far, the current Doctor, what's been done so far on DVD, the Matt Smith era. Join me next time.